Yes. Hello. Hi. Hey, Kelsey. How are you
Hey,
doing? Am I,
I
am I not audible at all?
I can hear you. Can people hear us now?
Yeah. Am I audible now, guys? If you can just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Looks like I'm audible now. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'm really sorry for the small glitch that we've had before this. So let me just quickly give you a small introduction about Kelsey. So Kelsey Hojara is a registered dietitian, online coach, and a fitness enthusiast. She helps predominantly women gain confidence and create healthy habits for life while learning to eat foods that they enjoy. And she does that into with her one-to-one coaching with them. And she's based off Indiana in USA, and but she works with clients worldwide. And Kelsey is, when she's not in the office or at the gym, you'd like to hear this, guys, is she enjoys hanging out at the local craft brewery, and still, she's able to be fit, and probably she'll share some secrets with us going forward today. Hey, Kelsey, how are you doing?
I am doing great. So sorry about the technical difficulties. For some reason, your live didn't pop up right away, and then we couldn't hear you. So, you know, yeah,
I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I thought, and that's the challenge with this technical thing, right? I thought I'm audible, and then it was good that people told us upfront, right, that wasn't audible, and so that's good. So just to get started, Kelsey, what's happening? Like what? So it's around 8:30 in the morning there.
hmm yep. Pretty early here in Indiana, which most people, if you're not from the United States, most people have no idea where Indiana's at, which is ironic. So it's just like a small state in the United States, so not a whole lot going on here this morning.
That's good. So how's the situation there? With this whole Corona stuff around, is are people getting out much, or it's you still have people staying at home?
Yeah, so the United States is so big that like every state is almost like its own country. Like if you were looking at Europe, I guess you could compare to Europe. Like every country in Europe is like a state in the United
Right.
States. So every state is handling it a little differently. Where I live in Indiana, we haven't had as big of an I guess as big of a pandemic issue as other places. So everyone's taking it their own way, though. I am young,
Okay.
I'm healthy, so I'm personally enjoying my life while being safe, of course, washing my hands, wearing a mask, and all that. So everyone's doing their own thing, which I think is great, and I think that's the beauty of America. So you kind of
True.
have this
True.
like two sides. Some people are staying home, some people are still going out while being safe. So.
Correct. So that's really cool. That people are able to do what they want to do, and still obviously be safe. That's more important than anything else. How has this affected anything that you do? Has it affected it at all? Because I know that you take a lot of clients online, so it's been like swift, or did you have to change a lot of things?
Yeah, at first, stress levels were very high, not just for me, but for my clients. I had some clients that lost their jobs. I had some clients that were furloughed, took a huge pay cut, so on and so forth. So early on in the pandemic, it was very challenging because I
Okay.
lost some people just due to losing their jobs and things like that from the shutdown. But then it was kind of a wake up call for me because I was like, wow, like I can't let this happen. Like this is my dream. This is my business. So I took it in a positive way instead of looking at the negative. I was like, okay, well, I have all this extra free time now that I'm not
Right.
socializing with people. So I used that to put that time into my business, and I ended up I'm full time in my business now, and that happened during the pandemic. So that I'm getting a lot of hearts for that. Yeah, right. You got to use the free time in a good way. Um,
So
so I
that's
ended up
that's
being able
really
to,
cool, right? Yeah.
yeah. And so it's been good now, but early on it was very stressful, and I think everyone can agree that very high stress levels. But the longer it's been going on, it's just it is what it is. Corona is Corona, I guess at this point.
I totally get it. So, what we'll do is we'll just break this up into 2 sessions after this. The first one is introduction, which we're almost done. After this, I just have a few questions for you. You can answer. And the third section is we'll probably take some Q&As from people who've joined us. Yeah. So, Kelsey, so, just to get going with the questions before this, we have some sort of a contest kind of a thing, that not contest exactly, something like a trivia that you can ask our guests who've joined us, and if they answer, they probably get either a customized mask from our side or a customized wallet. So do you have the first question, Kelsey?
Yeah, how do I enter this contest? I'm just kidding, but I really would. Yeah, I definitely think masks are great. I saw that on your Instagram, but I was like, oh, I need to go check out your masks.
I'll send one across to you. Yes.
Yeah, so my first question is, I was going to ask in a little bit of a different order, but I haven't gotten to some of the questions yet. So I guess my first one would be just a simple question. So there are 3 different macronutrients that are protein, carbs, and fats. Can you name a protein? I want you to comment below a protein source and see if you know that answer.
Oh, that's great. So
that's where you comment below, people. I'm just kidding.
So guys, you need to mention one protein source. It can be anything. We'll just wait, for you guys to start answering. I hope we are audible. I'm just waiting for some people to answer. There are a lot of people who are joining in now. Yes.
Fish,
good.
Chicken, yeah, those are great. Eggs, good job. Good job there. Oh, yeah, paneer.
Yeah. Oh, you know paneer? Okay. I was just going to tell you it's cottage cheese.
Yeah, I have a couple clients that their parents grew up in India, so I'm very familiar with like Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, so that's good. That's good. I think we've have enough answers, and people, you guys can keep answering. I'm just going to quickly go to the next section. So what are the factors that go into dieting and right nutrition? A lot of people, because it's been there for such a long time, everybody has their own theory. I'm sure a lot of myths also. What do you think, if somebody has to just diet or start nutrition, what's the first step?
Yeah, it's so funny because people think that you need to be doing certain things, and it's actually the complete opposite. So weight loss and living a healthy lifestyle can be super simple. It's the internet that makes it so confusing, and your friends, your coworkers that make it really confusing. So I say there are 5 factors that go into living a healthy lifestyle and a healthy weight loss plan. So the first thing is your overall and I'm just going to throw it out there. None of these things are sexy. Weight loss is not a sexy topic. If you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's really not sexy. You're not doing this crazy thing. So going to get very simple with you guys. The first thing is your overall calorie intake. Again, not very sexy. Just how much food are you putting into your body? Your overall calorie intake. In order to lose weight, you just need to be, right? It's so simple. You just need to be in a slight calorie deficit. And what that means is just eating slightly less calories than you burn per day on a consistent basis. That's the first thing. The second thing is your protein intake. You got to be getting in enough protein. That's why I started off with that question. Protein is so important if we want to lose fat. I like to say it's not about weight loss. It's about fat loss, right?
Right.
That would be the second. The third thing is going to be movement or physical activity, like just making sure you're moving. Oh, my sister hopped on. Hey, Katie. So the third thing is going to be physical activity or movement. I'm a big fan of resistance training for women. The fourth and fifth thing, again, not sexy at all, but stress management and getting enough sleep. So that's what you actually need to be doing. You don't need to be doing all these crazy fads. You don't need to be taking fat burner teas, doing detoxes, cutting out all the foods you love. It really can be very simple if you have the right guidance.
So that's, I think, really cool. A lot of people, I think, complicate things. And obviously, that's the reason they don't even get started, right? Because it's if you're not taking one step at a time, it can get very scary to start off itself. So I've seen some of your videos on Instagram, and you say you can have carbs, and that's the main thing, right? And that's what we want to base this whole session about, is you can have carbs and still lose weight. And now, this can raise a lot of questions, saying that, is it some sort of a gimmick, or just to get people online, or things like that? And what do you have to say about it? How do you, you know, tell that you can have carbs and still lose weight? How does it happen?
It's so funny you say that because people do hear, they're like, I can drink craft beer, I can eat pizza, I can eat rice, I can have naan bread, I can still see my I can drink wine, whatever it is, and I can still see results. And the truth is that is 100% true. Like, it's not a gimmick. It's what I teach in my one-on-one coaching program. I'm very passionate about it. And the reason goes back to those 5 things that I talked about that are most important. Calories is number 1. Okay, calories and protein. So if you are reaching your protein goal and you are staying within that calorie range you need to on a consistent basis, you can eat carbs, you can eat whatever it is that you enjoy and still see results. Of course, I like to talk about that balance, right? We don't want to be only eating, I like to call them fun foods. We don't only want to be eating fun foods, or you're not going to feel very great. There was a guy in the United States who did this YouTube video where he ate, I want to say it was a Whopper, which has, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a Whopper. It's from Burger King, but it has like 1,200 calories in it.
Yeah.
He ate one Whopper every day for 30 days and still lost weight, but he felt horrible. So you
Wow.
do need to make sure that you're watching, making sure you're getting in whole foods, lots of whole foods, but you still can enjoy in moderation the things that you love. And carbs are really important for a lot of reasons that I can dive into if you would like.
Yeah. At least, yeah. So that people know, right? Why are carbs important? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of reasons why carbs are important, but in my opinion, the most important is just your brain function. So your carbs and your whole body or your whole body and your brain use carbs for energy. And so when you're not eating enough carbs, I'm sure some people here have experienced this, you don't feel very good. You might feel tired, you might feel lethargic. You might have way lower energy levels. You might notice that you can't remember things as well. That's a big problem, especially if you're a high performing person. Maybe you own a business like we do, or you're whatever you're doing. If you're a mom, you need energy. Whatever it is that you're doing out there, you need energy. Also, eating enough carbs helps produce serotonin in your brain. So serotonin is known as the happy hormone. Hello, I don't know about you all, but I like to be happy. So you need
True.
carbs for
Everybody
that.
wants to be happy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to be happy. And so you might notice if you cut carbs that all of a sudden your mood declines. You might be struggling with depression, anxiety. Like, you need carbs to help with that. And then just some other things. Carbs do help with your sleep, which is important. They help with your workout. So if you are working out and you want to be getting the benefit from your workouts, which, hey, you do. There's no point in working out if
True.
you're not getting the benefit. So carbs help with that as well, and they help with muscle growth, just so many things. I could go on for a very long time, but those are the main reasons why carbs are very, very important.
That's great. Again, I just want to acknowledge a few people who've gone on. Like, thanks, Karan, for joining. Abhinav, thanks, guys, for coming online. So I think what we understand is, or at least I understand is, as long as your net calorie intake was outtake. So when I say intake is your eating food, and out is your burning calories. So if you're burning more than what you're having, you're good to go. Like, in the sense, that's the proper calculation that you need to keep in mind, right?
Yep. And then I just want to throw out there that less is not necessarily better. And that's where people get into trouble. And that's where you need that guidance, because it can be hard. Just when you start losing weight, thinking, I want faster, but faster is not better, because you'll start burning your muscle instead of your fat. Your metabolism will start to slow down. So it's really not
Correct.
as extreme as people think. You really just need
Correct.
to be eating like 500 calories less than you burn per day. And there's plenty of calculations to help you figure that out online that you can look into.
That, I think that's good. And for any reason, right? Like I'm saying, health is one of the most important things. So guidance
Mhm.
is something which, at least initially, right, before you start off, so that you start off on the
Yeah.
right foot, is very important. So let me just, because we're talking about this, let me just go to the next question. Is so you've been, having a lot of these one-to-ones online. So is this only related to Indiana, or people across US and across India? Can they get in touch with you? How does it work?
Yeah, so my entire business is online, which is awesome. It was already like that before the pandemic, so it's even better that I was already established online. So I work with people all across the world. The furthest person right now is all the way in Germany. I have
Nice.
people, yeah, I have people all over the United States. And since I am an entrepreneur and I make my own schedule, I'm very flexible with the times I'm able to see people. So I can fit in basically all time zones. The only one that might be challenging is Australia because we're complete opposite
Correct.
time zones. So
Correct.
that one would be a little bit more challenging. But other than that, yeah, I'm able to see people wherever because my entire business is online.
That's great. So, cons considering, the current situation, where a lot of people want to come online because there's no physical, a lot of people don't want, it's either ways, right? Even the people who want service and people who are giving service, both of them don't want to come physically in touch with each other. I think online, it makes much more sense now than ever, right? So, with respect to either nutrition or diet, what are the steps? Is it like a one session thing, or is it a multiple session thing? How does it work?
So I used to do in person through a hospital where people would come in, they would sit down, and we'd have one-to-one sessions. And I'm going to be very honest, that was the reason why I started my business because it's coming into one session. I'm getting a lot of love on that. Yeah, coming in for one session when you're looking to change your whole lifestyle and make a healthy lifestyle, one session, I'm sorry, it's not going to do it. You really need that high level of accountability. So what I do in my program is we work together either on a 6 month basis or a month to month. And most people do stay in the program for 6 months with us checking in every week to every other week because the goal is for you to, like I said, make this whole lifestyle change
Correct.
instead of just coming in and doing a quick, quick thing.
Yeah,
So
it's not like a crash course, right? Like people
yes.
just come in, and that happens to a lot of people. They lose weight in a jiffy, and then probably they put on double the weight in months to come. That's because they've not done the right way, right? And like you said, it
Yeah.
should be a lifestyle change and just not losing it quickly, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And there's I talked at the beginning about the 5 factors. Well, there's a lot of education that goes into all of those things. And if you have a stressful week, like how do we manage that? And then the next week it's different. Then maybe we have holidays coming up in the next few months. How are you going to manage that? There are so many different things and everyone's so busy. So there's a lot to navigate through on how to live that healthy lifestyle. I'm getting a lot of love here. Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining in. So my next question might be a touch tricky because we have quite a few men online too. Is I've seen your profile and a lot of things that you say. You concentrate mainly on women. Uh, so what's the specialty, right? Why only women? Means I'm not saying only women because I'm sure you have clients who are men too, but then yeah, why are you concentrate more on women? How does it help them more?
Yeah, so, I do work with men as well. It's just a matter of I need to make sure I connect with you. And that's why I get to know my clients really well. I want to make sure we're a good fit for each other, that I like you, you like me. And I do specialize in women because women are very fascinating because we have a lot more hormone fluctuations and a lot more of those factors that we need to consider when it comes to weight loss. Where men, I love men, but you guys are a lot more straightforward. You're a little bit more simple. And so I like helping the more complex. And I grew up with three sisters. So I just relate with women on that level where I do relate with men, of course, but I just tend to attract more women into my program. I'm getting laughs on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which part was funny. I'm giggling over here as well. So, yeah, I primarily work with women to help them with weight loss, make healthy lifestyles. But I do help men as well if we're a good fit.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's a bit of a tricky question because,
Mm-hmm.
so one more thing there, right? Is there any sort of a age group that you work with, or does it make a difference? It basically any age group is okay. Earlier, if you get to know about nutrition early in the life, it's better. Something there that you can add some light on.
Yeah, that's a great question. So just to answer the second half, the earlier you can work on your nutrition, the better. And I mean that in the sense of so I plan to have kids in the next few years, and the way that you eat does affect your kids, and seeing them have your kids seeing you have good habits is going to run off onto them. So it's like this multi-generational thing when it comes to nutrition. So if you're a teenager or even a kid and your mom's struggling and your dad's struggling, working on it as soon as possible is going to be helpful. Right. I don't work with kids though. I don't work with teenagers. I work with on the adult side. So most of my clients are anywhere from 25 to 35, but my oldest client right now is in her 60s. So I do work with multiple age groups, just not kids and teenagers. It's more of the adult side of things.
Adult side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So my next question is, see, nutrition is just not about, like you said, right? It's not about losing weight. It's a lifestyle. It makes you look better and, feel good about yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things you said, people need to sleep well too. So everything is like a package, right? So my next question to you is, if at all somebody is saying he's fit, and really don't need to lose weight, still nutrition is important for the person. He might have good metabolism, right?
Yeah. So it makes me laugh. I go to a gym. I've been lifting weights for 8 years now. I've, been in the fitness space. I even played sports growing up. And when people say oh, well, I did this and I don't care about my nutrition, you did that in spite of the fact you don't care about your nutrition. If you did take care of your nutrition, you could be doing even better. So if you are a fit person and you're not watching your nutrition at all, making those changes will make you feel better, will give you more energy levels. Your physical appearance will also improve, even if you didn't think that it needed to. It will if you start actually taking care of your nutrition and you weren't before. And something, if I have any younger demographic people, I don't know about you all, but when I was in high school and college, I didn't really need to monitor my nutrition as much as I do now. Now it affects me so much more. So just something to keep in mind as we get older, it does become more important. And if we're looking at, being healthy, and especially with the pandemic, everyone wants to be healthy right now. Your nutrition is crucial for that, regardless of if you need to lose weight or not.
Correct. I think a lot of onus is put on how your immune system is, right? With this whole coronavirus. For youngsters, they say it's not lethal as long as your immune system is good. So I think nutrition plays a really important part in the whole immune system that we build for ourselves. So my last question to you, and is something that for all the people who are watching and probably will watch later, if at all, by themselves, if they have to start off, it can be either in the path of nutrition or the part of weight loss. If you have to, I know you've given them 5 important things that they need to take care of, but I'm saying if you can break it to what they need to do on a daily basis, what would you suggest? 3 things so that they can take this from the session.
Yeah. So, if I'm going to be honest, the first thing you should do is if you are confused on how to put this all together, you should reach out for help. No one teaches us these things in school, sadly. So it's kind of, very confusing. You're not supposed to know what to do. So if you need help, reach out. But the first thing, if you're just like, well, where do I get started? You need to build awareness around what you're already doing. If you're just eating mindlessly and you're not paying attention to your food intake at all, you can't just go start making a bunch of changes. You really need to build up that awareness. So first off, why are you eating? Are you actually hungry? I do like when I think a good starting place is to just track your food intake, whether that be pen and paper, whether you're taking pictures, whether you're using MyFitnessPal. Just that will help you see, well, what am I eating, and make you take that second thought to be like, okay, do I really want this food item? Because like I said, if you're just kind of going through your day to day mindlessly eating, you need to first build awareness, because awareness needs to happen before you can make changes, because you don't know what to change if you're not even aware of what you're doing. So I'd say that is the number one starting place. And then from there, once you're aware of where your problems are at, then you can start picking. I would start off by picking 2 things to start working on. I know a lot of people in my program actually start with stress management. Oh, yeah, so true, right? Yeah, you have to be aware. But yeah, a lot of people in my program actually start with stress management, which is they're like, hey, like, why aren't we talking about nutrition? I'm like, hey, you need to work on your stress or you'll never be able to make good choices. So finding those like 1 to 2 things that are most important for you to work on now, after you were aware of the changes that need to be made, I would start with like 1 to 2 things, start slow, start making those habits. And then from there, you can start adding on as the weeks go by. So I hope that was helpful.
No, that's, I think, very helpful, right? Keeping a tab on what you eat. A lot of people don't do that, right? They just go through the day eating whatever they can and whatever they want, and then probably later come back and then realize it's probably just.
Yeah, you froze for a little bit.
Yeah. So are we good? Can you hear me now?
Yep, we're good. I will say though that when I say like starting off tracking your food, my end goal for everyone in the program is to be able to maintain without tracking their food. So just because you're doing it initially on your journey does not mean you should be doing it for the rest of your life. That is not healthy. It's just used as a way to help you make the lifestyle changes that you can do for forever.
That's, I think, a very good input that, if somebody can take, and it becomes automatic for them, right? The way of health. So now we're almost coming to the end of our second session. If you have a second question for them, Kelsey, so that people can answer that.
Yeah, so my next question is, this is a true or false question. Does eating after 7 p.m. cause fat gain? Yes or no?
Wow, tricky question. Eating after 7 p.m., does it lead to fat gain or no?
This is a hard question. This is one of those things that gets spiraled around the internet all the time. So
it does.
Okay, so we have someone answered yes.
Yeah, right. So T-Pain says yes. So in India, you'll get a lot of yeses, because that's means people, it's a part of their lifestyle, to eat early. At least they want to eat early. Whether they eat or no is a different story. Yeah.
So I know this is a tricky question, so I do want to answer. We're getting some yeses and nos. The true answer is no. Eating late at night does not cause fat gain. It will only cause fat gain if you're eating more calories than you burn per day. So that's a tough question. And I know it's a huge myth. So it actually will not cause fat gain unless you're eating more calories than you burn per day. So fun fact. So now you know.
Yeah, I know I might get a few comments on that, because a lot of them in India believe eating early is healthy, which is, I think, still true. But the question was whether it results in fat gain or no, right?
Yeah, so there is like multi levels to that. Like in terms of fat gain, no, it won't cause fat gain, but it can help with blood sugar regulation, and it can help depending on what time you go to bed at night. You should not eat a very large meal right before you go to bed, or that could affect sleep. But yeah, everyone's so different, so it depends. But in terms of fat gain, no, you will not gain fat if you eat later at night.
That's great. So we just have, I think, two questions. I'm just going to pull on those questions. So first one's from Anand. Hey, Anand, thanks for joining. Is not everyone can afford a professional. So how does a common man go about his nutrition and weight loss? I think you've answered that partially, but then if you want to add something to it.
Yeah, so if anyone is interested, I do have a free Facebook community that I'm constantly posting exclusive content. I do a ton of live videos like this where I go through different topics with people. So I would love for you to join that. It's called Kelsey's Coaching Community, Fat Loss, Nutrition, and Fitness. For women, men, you can join as well. But yeah, just to elaborate on it, make sure that you're doing your research. If you ever hear something that's like, maybe that's not right, but it sounds, again, sexy, just look it up. And when I say look it up, don't just do a Google search because that might get confusing. Maybe reach out to someone, ask a dietitian the question, and really get the response that you need so that you're not falling trapped to some of these fads. So I just say ask questions about everything, be curious, and try and find what works for you.
That's great. So the Facebook page that you're telling, it's so they can just search Kelsey Hojara on Facebook and they can get your page. Is it called by your name?
Yeah, it's called Kelsey's Coaching Community.
Okay.
So if you search that, or it's a very long name. It's Kelsey's Coaching Community, Fat Loss, Nutrition, and Fitness for Women. So very long,
Okay.
but if you just search Kelsey's Coaching Community, it'll pop up on Facebook. So I'd love it for everyone to join. It's a great, fun time in there.
Now that's a good thing, right? That's something which is like a community. So people, I'm sure, discussing things, and it's for free. So
Yeah.
that answers, I think, our first question. But what we'll also do is you can send me the link over, Kelsey. I'm going to post the link to all the people who can come back and probably see in our notes, Okay. So our second question is it true that when you eat your meals in parts throughout the day, instead of all at once, you lose weight quicker?
In parts throughout the day. Okay, so that is a tough question. I did a whole live video on this in my Facebook group that really goes into detail on it. But just to give the synopsis, technically speaking, if you're eating one meal a day and you're eating less calories than you burn, technically speaking, you will lose weight. But I said the second most important thing for fat loss is protein. And in one meal a day, you will never reach your protein goals. There's no way that's ever going to happen. And so that's where it goes down to eating, like they say 3 times minimum per day can help. And gets a little bit complex, but helps your body build muscle. We want to build muscle, so we're burning fat. And so you do want to eat minimum 3 times a day. If you're struggling to get protein in, adding in a 4th meal or a snack. But yeah, it's almost impossible to get in enough protein eating 1 to 2 meals a day. So that's where I would say 3 to 5 is going to be more beneficial for fat loss. If you're just looking at weight loss, doesn't really matter, but we want to lose fat, right?
True. So I think, let me just check if there are any more questions. I don't see any more questions, but if anybody else has any questions, they can post it now so that Kelsey can answer before we wrap up. Let me just
Thank
see
you all for the
comments.
comments, though. I really appreciate it. I know someone said that. So Deppin27 said the detailing is impressive. Such a helpful session. I'm really happy. I hope this helps a lot of people. That's what I'm here for and why I do what I do.
Yeah, deep in. Yep. No. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining. I think I don't see any other question there. So, yep. If anybody has a question, they can post it now. Yeah. So if they were to, see what you do, probably contact you, or somehow get in touch with you, what's the best way they can get in touch with you, and where can they get more information about you?
Oh, thanks, Cranston. Almost a huge fan. Thank you so much. Makes me so happy. So you can get in touch with me by either DMing me on Instagram. That is one way to get in touch with me. If you're interested in the one-on-one coaching program or the fitness group, you can DM me. For the one-on-one coaching program, I do have a website that you can go ahead and check out. It's just www.kelseyhojara.com. If you want to look at services, there's /services. So you can see what it is that I exactly do in the one-on-one coaching program.
That's great. Would they be able to get the Facebook link on the website itself?
Yep. There's on the website, there's a tab that's for the Facebook tribe. You can click on it there. Right now, there's a link in my bio for the Facebook group, but I'm about to change that out with my podcast episode that's launching today. So, we have another question. Do we have time? I mean, I have time. I don't know about you.
No, that's okay. Yeah, no, we can still take the question. Yeah. So sometimes working people tend to miss their meals, especially lunch, and eat only breakfast and dinner. How can they manage their nutrition? Yes.
So I would say it is really important during your workday to make time for that meal. I do understand that there are times, I worked in healthcare. I come from a healthcare family where, you know, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, sometimes you don't get time. But if you can make time, of course, that is going to be more beneficial. But if you can't, I would try to get something in quick. So whether that be a meal replacement shake and a banana, whether that be getting in a protein bar, getting in some quick snacks. I have a guide on my website called Quick Meal and Snack Ideas. You can definitely get some snack ideas from that, but I would try and get something in when you can, if you're not able to take that full lunch break.
That's great, I think. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming online. You know, before we wrap up, Kelsey, you know, a lot of just if there's some myth, give me one myth that people think. I know you've given a couple of them, including the 7 o'clock thing. Before you ask your next question, just one myth that people can, you know, that can shock people about nutrition.
So
What would be?
My next question was
Is
actually
that
a myth.
okay? So shoot the question, and you know,
like,
the answer is something that, you know, people can take back with them. Yes.
Okay. So my question is, should you eat protein and carbs after your workout? Yes or no?
Yeah. So the question is, after your workout, should you be eating protein and carbs? Yeah. We'll just wait for a lot of people liking the session. Hey, thanks, Neha. Thanks, Bindya. Thanks a lot for joining. Yeah. So we'll just wait. Yeah. You're getting yes.
All right. Getting some yeses. Perfect. Yeah, there's this myth, and I actually heard it from my parents, and then it also spiraled around in like the weight loss community. We got to know. Yeah. So a lot of people feel that if you eat carbs after your workout, it's going to store as the fat that you just burned. And that's not true. That is a myth. You do need protein and carbs after your workout to get the benefit of your workout, especially if you're resistance training and your goal is to build muscle and burn fat. You do need carbs and protein after your workout to get that benefit.
Wow, that's great. I think it was a great session. Thanks a lot. And people who've answered, what will happen is probably in half an hour or an hour, we'll announce the winners on the stories itself. Please tune in to Instagram stories, and the winners will be announced there. Thanks a lot for joining us for the session. Thank you, Kelsey. It was an awesome session. A lot of valuable stuff that people can take back. And you know, it was very simple, you know, for people to digest. Something that they can do in their daily lives. You gave them quite a few, you know, takeaways that they can start doing immediately. And obviously, and a place like your Facebook page where they can come and see what you do, they can follow, and they can learn more about yourself. Yes, Kelsey, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much thanks for having me. This was super fun, and I'm super happy we were able to get together and collaborate.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Kelsey. And so if anyone has any other questions, in case, or if you're watching it later and not on live, please shoot us the question either on 108 Bespoke, or you can shoot it to Kelsey directly. We'll try our best to answer all your questions. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
Yeah.